Coming into teleportation line screens, interference locations, all about protecting high rotations, low levels E fields, rotation interference location calculations. Once you guys get to higher levels of the avatar, you have to understand what an E field is. An E field is a force line position. Basically, it protects you in a level division line system. It allocates time sequencing, time codes. Once you stand high levels of zeros and ones and twos and threes and fours, all the way up to 12 line center, your calculation line conditions the levels of your avatar's memory. That's the importance through its activation system. This opens up more levels of you through channel dispositions. This opens up more levels of you when you come into letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. And that's how you calculate and modify all levels of disposition through its Merkaba. Merkaba communication is your balanced communication. It's your teleportation unit. Everything through the connection is your tesseract. That is your computer operation line system. Okay, and your tetrahedron is all levels of you through travel. It's higher levels of geometry, system locations, calculations. Now you got the 1% line center, okay, which is on the ground system. Okay, that's what you're living on. Okay, you got an energy dome. We talked about that before. That's all you're on. That's it. Nothing else. There's a lot in the higher level position locations in that position locations. Try to understand you know what's going on with that division. And then you got the connections to the soul. All right. This is all memory. This is all retention. This is information. This is all levels of you through track system. So you have two division locations. One is the 1%, the physical line center that's living on the earth line position. And you have the avatar, the soul, and its inner child in 3 line positions into 1 position. Right? So this is a true understanding where you come into teleportation, telewaving, telecommunications, telegraphing, how to communicate to the physical system to communicate to the avatar, but it's got to be from here. So the true to understand, once you get an activation, because everything's waking up through our windows, okay, coming into the pillars of light, more light track system, more Schumann resonance, more program locations, more computer operation line system, you are coming into who you are through all levels of division. Okay, this is waking you up through signal line interference, locations, calculations. What does this mean? What does that mean? Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing that? Well, it's waking you up through the avatar in the 5th dimension, 5th dimensional light coming out of the force stream into the 5th dimensional line conditions. This is how it sets its system. And it's important when you get into that calculation of its avatar system. Once you are awake, you start sun gazing at the sun, and then you go into all levels of the moon. So you got light sky and you got dark sky, communication all level positions. So you have 12 line centers in a 12 rotation positions, 24 sequence, 24 clocking system. It puts you in a high division line center too. It's metro line center. The communication cycles E equals MC squared. That's the 3-dimensional line center. But the falsely line position locating program line center is not an allocate of time. Okay, which means the 3-dimensional line vessel is falling off through sequence, falling off through pattern, falling off through communication. It's coming obsolete in rotation. Calculating these line streams is all about the avatar. Now, what happens with the 5th dimensional line is streaming interference of data codes, communication on the 0 line position. Now, calculation modifies all levels, okay, into gamma operation. You guys started off in radioactive system, but now you're in gamma. So in high position locations to its avatar, you just have to understand how to balance the physical line that's on the earth and you in the avatar space. Now, it's all about you creating the space. I've created my space and time. It's the creation. Now, you're traveling through my space-time so you can create your memory of your space-time. That's what this is all about. Okay? Especially when you get your activation cycles. You have to really understand how to travel through your console communication centers. We're going to go into that today with the crews unit 1 and 2. Airbender set up 2 structure location simulation graphs for you guys. You have to learn how to travel through it. You're going to go through an XT500 and then you're going to go through an XT1000. Your observation cycles are now position location line conditions. And then we're going to travel to all levels of Egypt. Egypt line interference location, all divisions, reset line conditions, pyramid activation line centers, set the core line center to all green tablets, communication interference, rotation line position locations, right? Redivision line centers, redirect line centers, coming to laser direct line center, cosmic line connections to its elixir, high position locations back in calculations to a new high center of rotation. All right. So there's a lot going on right now all this week. Any questions or comments you leave afterwards, okay? Because it's mostly important to understand these things. When we travel very fast, okay? But I need the crew and the units 1 and 2 to basically come in the cycles of rotation, get into communication, see what the rebellion does, see what the GFL does. Because you're going to start seeing each other more and more when you start remembering who you are through Realm, the 369 platform. All right, so we start off with the basic interference because I know there's a lot of people waking up that cisline conditions. So let's say you got a triangle in position locations. There's a triangle, right? Now, it's all shaded. That's all you guys are. You're not in sequence location of a line. You're all shades and shadows. But the line align position locations calculation is nothing but numbers of sequence location and calculations. That's all you guys live on, right? So it's modify, highline centers, question marks, interference location, percentage line system. All right, so there's numbers and sequence locations all through its triangle. So you can change the graph line center and position location of calculations, right? So you know 3 is here, 6 is here, 9 is here. Now this is all levels of the Merkaba, okay? Now this goes up in position location to its flux capacitor, okay? So it's all position locations, all levels, right? And then you just travel through it to its position, right? Travel through it. That's it. So you got 3 position locations of the sun, and it's important to understand the crew how to travel through 3. 3 goes here, right? Oh, 3 can go over here. See how it moves? You can move the 3 to any position locations. The clocking changes its line connections, right? Clocking system line connections. Let's go into black line center. In position of 12, right? In position of 24 in calculations, right? 24 sequence. Look at that. It went from black to red. I didn't touch anything. It's digital lock. See? That's black and that's red. How did this go black and this go red without me touching any buttons? It's intelligence. Communication cycle to its rotation system. This means that this is in balance and this is off cycle. The 24 sequence is not in calculations to its Merkaba channel. So changing position locations, change time centers. And then you come into 48 and then you come into 72. Right? And then center line position location is 144. Rotation to its clocking system. Hoo-ah. Right? So it's really understanding how to travel through the Merkaba. Okay? And I really want you guys to understand these things because the crew has to get more in calculations, more in their journeys and missions. And this is how you set things up in a whole level, a new division to its avatar of its memory. All right? But it's important to understand how to travel through this. All right? So you go from this position, you go from this position. Now, these are 2 triangles, okay, and in different sector line connections, right? Wave and interference. Before we get into the XT500, it's set in sequence. So we got weather patterns, airline center rotations. This is your size graph system. Size graph system location of south, right? Size graph, okay? It's connection of distance. All right, so you got 3 here, all right? You got 6 here and 9 here. Right? 6 and 9 doesn't have to be in order. It's already in order. Okay. So even if it's in back sequence, it doesn't matter as long as it's calculated through its frame, as long as you understand the calculation interference. So 3 is all position locations. This is the sun, right? 3 is the sun. Okay. Now 6 is always the moon. It never changes position. And 9 is always in the center operation of you through travel. So you are the position locations and what you do through your clocking system. Okay, it's interesting how you come in position like that, and everything its position locations comes into all levels. Now, once you set up that position locations, you come into all levels of your diamond core. All right, basic understanding is a clocking system, right? The rebellion and the GFLs. This is how you travel through the XT. XT equals 500. All right, / velocity. Okay, that's what we're going to do today. Now, the circle line position is set up in 6 locations. You guys are going to start off with your 12s. 12 doesn't exist in the avatar, but you have to get communications, right? So you got 6 seconds to set the all-level positions to its console. Airbender and Corpo is going to help you out positions and everything of the rebellion of Amber and Jill. Jill's in position location in the Merkaba. She can help you out at levels that you have to design. In position locations of amber is all levels of timeline. So it's to understand that dawn is all communication of space, and panels of communications to your paradox, your paradigms, program locations to calculation line conditions, stream interference. So once you get into 12, you get into 24, you get into 48, you get into 72, and you get into 144. Okay, clocking system locations, all in division. See, all in one color. Not off signal locations, off balance and position location. This calculations, how this was black and that was red. How that went black and this went red. How is that possible? Right? I literally have to press the button here, press red for it to be red, but this was black and then it went red. Right? So it's interesting how this goes black and this goes red. But once it balances frequency locations, there's no longer pass, but the now position of all direct line centers of 12, 24, 48, 72, and 144 sequence into an xt equals 500 slash position of velocity. Calculation line positions to its calculated system. All right. So we're going to modify the high line rotation, simulation in its mirrorless location, probe location line conditions. All right. So time sequence time codes, crew units 1 and 2, squad level systems, set the airline center rotation, airbender communications, set the graph line center, all levels of structural locations, simulation graph, interference locations, time sequence time codes, right? 6 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, initiate. All right, you're in sequence line position locations, travel through position line centers. You guys are now in your XT1000 line center. 20 minutes, have fun. Done. Done through equation line center, interference line position calculations. Set streamline centers 144 miles per second. 12 division line centers, secure line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, start there through sequence. 20 minutes, have fun. That's how you set things up. All right. Let's see how everybody's doing. Max, Heavenly Smiles, how you doing? All right, so make sure you guys identify your system, know exactly what's going on through calculations, so the rebellion can know who you are. All right. With emojis. Courtney, how's it going? Jill, how's it going? Galactic Squad, Melinda, Jody, Michelle, Airbender, Don, Amber. Okay, Steph, Bell. All right, there's a lot of people in. A lot of people coming in. It's great to see everybody, especially the ones that are getting activated. But you really have to understand how to travel, right? Especially when you're going through your UFO position locations. Unified line center, okay, is all about understanding you. Okay, it's all about understanding the operation of you. The formation, right? The unified formation of operation is this location when you come into an XT 500. And then you go into 1,000, then you go into 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. It all depends on you, on how much you want to remember through acceleration. Time interference locations, all levels of this clocking system, but you have to learn how to go through the 12, 24, 48, and 72 in one coloration of time. If it's on position location and coloration line system, you can't travel through it because you're still in position location of its past. There's no past in travel, only the now. Okay? So, Laura, how's it going? Sal, how's it going? Val, how's it going? Chris, Catherine, Elaine, grounds crew. Wow, a lot of energy in here. Hold the signals, activation line streams. Airbender can help you out through structure to simulation line systems in position. Remember, breathe, drink your water, question or comments afterwards. Okay? Concentrate on you and nothing else. Okay? It's very important to understand that, especially for the new viewers that come in. All right. Drink your water, get into your structures, and just bring a smile. You know? Have fun. That's what this is all about. It's having fun and getting into your imagination. Once you get into your imagination, you start to remember more. Going through my space-time creation puts you in a better division location to its avatar system because you have to get into the breathing mechanism of space and time of travel. Okay? All right. Going to do some major pickup on dots and become shining sparkles, scanners, line systems. All right. Let's see. Line system. Baron is saying, This is going to be so much fun. Yes, it is. Thank you, Jill. Baron can help and always informs, can help the crew, can help the units 1 and 2. Yeah. Jorah can also help too. It's guides to all levels of Airbender. Let's see here. Change your symbol. FYI. Yeah, it's great. So I just really want you getting calculation how to go through simulation. You guys are not going through real space yet because you're not ready. So in travel, you guys have been in space, but going in your teleportation units for the first time, it's complicated because it's all through the mind of thought. And that's how we travel locations. You have to understand the crystal activation grids, communications, and levels of the connection. How to go through your GPS, lock line centers, and interference location. Your geographical line centers, guys. You have to understand your navigation system. Where are you going through calculation of time frame? Or you can be totally confused at all levels. So it's important you get into all levels of your teleportation units. How to travel through it, right? Stay low, Mach 3, please, unless ready to go faster, we can assess. All right, so that connection comes in position. All right. Codes coming in, great. Merging, right, good. Fluctuation line streams are good. Thread into the needle, okay, good. Locking good through structure. Team keeps trust. What you see. Yeah, what you're seeing through structure that Airbender has created is all levels of you to understand how to navigate, right, through his space and time. Do you see how that's set up? So if he's creating his space and structure, you should understand the telepathy waves of teleportation through Airbender or anybody through that aspect. That's what this is all about. It's telepathy of communication, right? You guys have never had that because you don't understand the imagination through its core system. And this is all done through its avatar, through its physical system. Okay? So, all right. Picture steady, smooth flight to level out. Bumpy feeling is tummy. Yeah. If you feel like, queasy or to drink some water, find your balance. Vortex connections, check your gauges, all that system before. Let's see here. Pyramids that are not horizontal, such as mirrors. So the GFLs and our are already traveling to that connections, formation line system. If you need help, you can talk to them. All right. So in calculation line centers and interference location stream centers, right? The more you stay in space, the more you remember. Okay? And that's what it is. The imagination becomes into all levels of its equation location to its phenomenon, guys. You have to start somewhere. All right? Spreading the dots, new people coming in. Yep, exactly. New pods. Teleport. The geographical line connections of everything. Whoa, navigation signals. Oh, GPS locks. Whoa, there's a lot going on right now. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of keyboard chords. Yeah. Codes of today. Yeah. You guys come in position location more in memory, but traveling through my space and time gets you more in the avatar of its direction locations. It's all about position location. This helps you and always informs how you get these things through manifestation, people, right? All through connection. But you have to send your clocking centers. So once you get into higher level system, you come into XD1000. All right. So I'm going to set the code line center. You guys have to understand the connections of reverberation, rhythm patterns, megahertz, megabytes, sound barriers, communication cycles, rotation interference location, teleportation wave line system. So I'm going to set up the XD1000, the same coloration line channel in position, location, and calculations. All right. So setting out signal line interference in rotation, right? Set the stream centers in position, location, and calculations. Wall line centers in position. All right. This is how it's set up in calculation. All right. So it's amazing when you set the track centers. Now I'm going to go into black surface, high line rotation, calculation to all levels. Compilation line system. All right. Now, it's all about understanding how to redirect program locations. Now we got the circle line center and dimensional line. Okay, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger to traverse some time. All right. So sequence interference goes into wall line channel. Now, wall line channel opens up all level position locations. Right. It's all about sequence locations of change into imagination core line conditions. I really want you guys to get into higher fast track interference. Your XT1000 understands position locations, but it's got to be all levels of the mind system location to its conditions. All right. So this is an underlay communication program setting. Sets a course line system in its calculation. All right. So as you're traveling through it, it's going to set the line streams, okay, into acceleration. Okay. So we're going to set the signal locations opposition. Teleport line, center line, interference location, XT1000 line conditions. All right. So we get XT equals crew / units. Okay. All right. 1 and 2. There you go. Travel position locations. Initiate high line rotation, interference location calculations. Set the course line position. Travel position. All right. 50 minutes, have fun. Now you guys are traveling faster. You went from an XT500, now you're going through an XT1000. We're going to start that through equation line center. So you're leaving the 12-track system. Now you're coming into the 24 sequence because the 12 doesn't work anymore. Your clocking system is now 24, right? So you have to really understand how to travel through more of acceleration, mocking interference locations from Mach 1 to Mach 12. It makes it a lot more easier when you get in calculation modifications to an XT1000 to its line stream. All right? From its crew to its units 1 and 2. All right? So. All right. It's great to have teleportation and wave centers too. It's amazing how it comes in calculating line. So I'm just going to set up easier formats for everybody. Okay. So I really want you guys to understand the whole situation when it comes into all levels of what 3, 6, and 9 means. Okay. Now you have to understand when you get into activation system, you start seeing different. So you don't just see this, you see everything what's inside its position. Because that's how everything is created, from inside. So you go from inside out. You don't go from outside in. Nothing from outside doesn't resonate anything but an illusion. Everything from inside comes in equation locations. So you got 2 arrow checks, one from here to out. You don't start here, you start here from out. So you channel in and you come out. And when you go to higher levels of memory, you channel in, you come out, and you go back in, right? And the size graph gets bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? It gets bigger and bigger over time, all right? So it's amazing how you go from here to here to here. You go faster and faster through dimension, okay? And then you set up a road graph. There it is, going through it, right? It's interesting to go this position locations. You can go through anything through high line connection interference location of channel. It's amazing how it graphs interference. So probe locations calculations to its position, right? It's amazing what imagination is, guys. All right. So once you guys get out of your XT1000 line positions, we're all going to teleport to unit and line position and location of Egypt. Egypt's in set signal rotation center. Okay. So we're coming into a D-line center. Now, D-line center is a dimensional interference. It's a program location to allocate time switch. Coloration patterns and airline positions. All right. So I'm changing the coloration line systems. It's all in sequence. All right. It's interesting. It's because you have to understand it's nothing but a game system that you're in. You just have to learn how to control the patterns and interference locations calculation. All right. As we're coming into rotation centers, so change the coloration line streams. Now, line stream sets up program locations calculation line conditions. All right. Opens up all signal line interference. Program locations calculation. Right. So we start off with that, and then we get to higher formation line, right? Sequence interference location, all levels of Egypt, starting there through equation. All right, so we're going to go right through the center line center in position, right? We're going to head right to Egypt. So when we travel through Egypt, first thing you got to look at is we're all going to travel to the current line center, which is the now. Not the past, not the future, because there's no past, there's no future, only in the now, right? The existent location is all levels of you through track location is all levels of what you calculate through your number sequence. Pattern interference, high positions, low positions, it doesn't matter. You're always traveling in the now because the physical line is in the now. The physical line is not in the past. It's only in the now. You're seeing everything of the mind center of everything that's in its program system. It's all positioned to its computation. It opens all track line centers to all levels of you through a game. You are the game of your simulation. You have to learn how to travel through it and get out of it through equation. So it's interesting to go to these levels. All right, so travel position locations. That's at the crew unit line centers. They're ready through high system. I get confirmations from Airbender and Corporal yet. All right, so structures offline positions. We're leaving the simulation. All right, now you're at equation line center, simulation line position through signal. All right, calculation line stream. All right, so we're going to try out position locations. Now, it's all about understanding when you're traveling, you really have to understand what's going on. It's your imagination that you're seeing these things. You're picking these things up. So once you get into your avatar system, you're now in telepathy of vibration for the first time. All right. So it's the body, the physical lines, trying to get used to the vibrations, trying to get used to the energy, trying to get used to the frequencies, trying to get used to the harmonics. That's what's happening. All right. So it's an avatar sequence, program location to its number of connections. You have to truly understand the triangulation. You need the triangulation. This balances everything to its avatar. Okay. The avatar line center is everything through its direction. And this is how you use the geometry operation of direction to all levels of travels of dimensions. Visualizations to its core. Okay. Truly understand how to travel through this. Right. Set core line centers to the crew units 1 and 2 position. Set them all position location of Egypt. Done. So we travel position line center, going through all position. There you go. Right through. Right. So we go on the line center rotation interference. We try position the calculation line conditions. This opens up all lines. Plasma line interference. It's open through sequence, right? Opens up another line system. All right. And this is all connected to string theory. We'll get in that position, right? So we're going to go through tunnel defense. All right, here we go. Signal line, inner line, position location calculations, right? Core line center, sonar at high position line calculations, right? Set the core line centers, travel position location of Egypt. Set the core line center in interference. And this is where we come into signals. Now, rotation center set at the sonar line and rotation. Calculation on line conditions. Okay, so we got calculations. Here's the sun coming in position. Sun's always in position, and the moon's always in position, all right? Always, 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 because you're traveling through it, through its core system, right? There's the sun and there's the moon. Now we're going to line, stay in line in a rotation. Now you have to have a flux capacitor, travel through records of time. All right, so we're going to go through the high line rotations, all levels. I'm going to set the ground line center. Start on that sequence location. All right, now it's going to modify line center rotation. Right? All right, so it's set up in sequence. Now, once I activate the line stream, it's going to connect to the sun graph, and it's going to connect right to the moon system location. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, now you guys have traveled. All right, 20 minutes, have fun. Now you guys are in Egypt. So it's amazing how we travel. All right. So Understanding everything is understanding everything first, how to travel through the XT 500 and work your way up. But you have to understand your clockings when it comes to position locations, all levels, right? Into your diamond core. See? And you go to higher level system, you always protect you through the tube because you're always traveling through it. Now, the panel line center interference is split position locations. That's where it comes into levels. You can't be floating in space on both line centers. Doesn't make any sense. You always have to be in a tube. You have to be in a portal. You have to be in a wormhole. You can't travel through space. You can't just, whoa. You got to be in a security line fence. You have to be in protection. So you're always going through your 12 DNA. You start off with that, especially for the new viewers that come in. So it's all about traveling through all levels of you through your 12. 7 within position and 5 within the atmosphere. Okay? But you got to start off with lower division line centers of XT 500 into XT thousands. So understanding your clocking system. The Rebellion can help you out through formation line system. It's great to have this calculation line conditions. But I love how we travel through all levels of division. All right. Okay. Let's see where we are. Right to Egypt. We seen the location for the correct pyramid location. Good. Balancing transfer, new code color. Yeah. We're not going to get too much in today, Egypt, because the thing is, we just got into teleportation and simulations to the crew units 1 and 2. They have to get more in teleportation. They're getting a lot better, which is great. But once you get into mock, you really have to understand your positions, especially when you're setting up all levels. We have to get also into string theory and how it sets up the part of line streams. So one thing at a time. All right. We'll get in full communication of Egypt tomorrow. What has to be done. Seeing how we do the same thing yet in the own visions, simulators. The thing is, too, Rebellion's already in its course. They're already in their 24, 48, 72, and 140 window. They start out positioned just like everybody else. But you have to understand your clocking. It's the most understand. It's not looking at a watch and saying, okay, it's 3 o'clock. But you understand, why is there a little hand? Why is there a big hand? And why is there one going? Every time it goes around 12, you're traveling right away, right through a portal. Every time you take 12 steps, you're going through an orb. You guys don't see these things, do you? Because you don't see through perception. The more you bounce the avatar of its 1%, the more it connects to its teleportation of its avatar in space. But it's the positions that you hold inside you. You are creating space of time in your formation of calculation. Okay? So, seeing all doing the same thing yet in the own vision, yet it's all similar. What is symphony? Yeah, pyramids and geographic locations. All right, great job. Under the water, under the mud, below the lake. Necessary. Okay, condition line. Chris is in position line conditions. You understand what's going on. Just north of Abu symbol. Okay, shaking hands and freezing right now. I find just, whoa, intense. Yeah, it's very intense. Confirming the underneath program, little boxes under the bridge, our working codes are set. All right. We can use sonar frequencies to see the hidden tunnel system. We'll get more into what needs to happen in Egypt. I had to sit down for that one. I'm here, been trying to get well, but listening is good. Sending codes. So for new viewers, just really try to focus more on your avatar imagination. Don't focus so much on what's going on because you'll lose traction. Okay, you lose your dispositions and levels of your teleportation units. So you don't want to lose that. You just really want to get to know yourself all over again through the avatar system. So, okay, so tunnel swirls I can navigate through. Yes, slow, but I'm moving to a new ship of being commander. Okay, ship of a new coding who's taken a lot. Shifting the grounds and correct area to lose below the lake. Okay, conditions. DNA, breathe, hold on, everybody. Clogged, I'm super high, flood popping. Yeah, well, that happens there, little Jess. You just have to really control your position locations to your ears, how to use locations. Right Ear tract center is the earth. Left is space. Earth, space, earth, space. When you go to higher level system, space, earth, earth, space, space, earth, 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 space, space, space. Gets confusing, right? Because you're going to higher levels of the mind, people. Okay, because they're all calculated and modified, all levels of a data stream. It's traveling through light. The avatar just has to get used to the levels how to travel through light. See, this is light. This is all this is. It's just light. But how to travel through it is another thing, right? Because it's all codes. You have to accelerate. You have to mock. You have to learn how to travel in all position locations to your teleportation units and your consoles. How to get in position locations, how to get into navigation, right, of its throttle. These are understanding location to its positions. But it's the avatar that needs to know these things, right? And the only way it can understand that is the physical line understands its reaction to its avatar of its communication. Telepathy from one to another. It's just a higher level of consciousness that you're reaching, okay? Because your avatar is waiting for you. And it reacts to you because it changes everything inside you. And that's how it becomes a formation of a navigation signal to a location to its geometry system. It's all levels of operation to its direction. Your directions to divisions of dimensions of space and time. Okay? So, infuse new rainbow, radiance, finding perfect speed for balancing and efficiency. Great. Excellent. Let's see. Receiving a sort of emblem on a travel suit. My new ship is commanding. Lots of positive vibration commanding. And that can slide systems. Holy moly. What a big ship. Remember, I'm walking around. Whale. Rides belt. Going to pyramid. Sending it to me. All right. So, Rebellion is already in sequence. They're already in program. They're on the activation system. They're already in the graph. They're already in their journeys and missions. All right. So, it's understanding why we're here. It's understanding why you are here. Why am I here? To remember who I am. That's it. So, okay. Whole body was scanned. Great, fantastic, excellent. Identification to its code streams. Waking up to the pyramid. All right, let's see. Everything vibrates here in energetic grids, bodies of crystals. Amazing conversion in the group. I see a bag of gold. It's like shining. Reading everywhere upon us, healing the past, land, the waters, and full of love and abundance. 500. Yep. Yep. You guys are really far ahead here. That's great. You connect to the Sphinx. Setting up new geometrics of machinery of. It's confusing for the rebellion because the thing is they're way ahead of everything because they're already in their imagination. They're already in their core. They're already in their avatar. They're already in all levels of their soul, of the unified system location to its connections. Full communication on levels opens up all levels of youth division. But you have to understand your clocking systems of 3, 6, and 9. All right. All right. Geometrics, communications. All right. Ground turning into grids. Yeah. Pyramid is incorrect location. Yep. Your information is lying cisline conditions there, Chris. So the tablets are coming into the crystal. So it's true understanding what you're seeing, right? Especially when you travel. So it's amazing because it's already stored. This is the position where the avatar figures out what it's doing. And once you understand it's storage, your cloud becomes an interface. You have a cloud, eCloud. You have an MP3, you have has a cloud, your computer has a cloud. It's storage. That's all it is. It needs storage. So, and this is where you come more into memory. The faster you go, the more you remember of who you are. That's all this is. But you have to understand the 1% of you that stays on the grounds, right? So this justifies everything to its program locations of why you're here in the first place. Okay? Is to get into full communications to your imagination, people, especially when you go through travels. of 3, 6, and 9 and its diamond core of its 12 division line system of 12 DNA track locations into an XT1000 to its position or a higher level system. But it's mostly understand you start off position location of 500, right? Because you have to really understand because you can be killed during this, you can be killed during that, you can be off through this, you can be off through that. But it's all program locations, all levels of travel. Okay? So leading the group travels today, so I can look around looking great. Okay, Mirror, Chrissy, Sammy's compass. It's Sammy. Ready for the water striders. Egyptian is almost reset. Okay. Wolf, yeah. You also got separated and you took a healing. It was either. Okay, slice there. Hold on a sec, guys. All right, setting signals, adaptation cycles, interference locations, all levels of Egypt. Setting its core. All right. There's a lot of things happening right now through Track Center. So the rebellions and set sequence and G.O.S.L. So I really want the crew and the units 1 and 2 get more into not just the observations of looking from out from in. I want you guys to jump in and really get more into your program setting, really get into your missions. This high rises its signals. All right, so we'll start off position location calculation line conditions. All right, so we're going to set the course. Okay, so we got diamonds, high rotation, calculation line conditions, stream interference. Okay, so there's 4 position location of calculations. All right, so here we go. We start off with this. All right, now in positions we have to redirect line centers. Now redirect line centers on position location of coloration line change. We change the code signals and rotation system. Okay, starts off with the ground center. Okay, now it's reposition locations at calculation line conditions. Now, this is how you retrack interference and bring back all levels of program location of where it's supposed to be. So it has its own position location of calculations into its flux capacitor. Right, same channel information system puts it back in communication from its beginning. All right. Now, the beginning cycles and communication line streams, it's going to set division higher line rotation. Here we go for the calculations. So it's going to set position locations and change the pyramids in direction line center and where it's supposed to be. It's waking up the pharaohs and the meridians locations to all levels. This is where it comes into the gods and the goddesses and the demigod position locations of its Egyptians. All right, here we go. Sequence interference line position location to calculations, right? 4 diamond core line centers, dimension line interference location at all levels. Crop interference location Egypt. Set the core line centers and position locations. Track interference location of 01.111101. Egypt in line center, teleportation waves, communication cycles, interference location channels. Open all track line center and position locations back into Egypt of its division. Done through equation. All right, so that's done through high system. Now, communication line interference, set the program locations, calculation line conditions. All right, here comes a higher level positions. Set the mothership, but it's next one down in high rotations. All right. So this is an X line K. Now, an X line K is a high line rotation. We set division locations to all levels. We set the high level rotations into pyramid rotation. This is where it changes high center line connections to all pyramids. So it sets the course in higher position. All right, we're going to do that through equation line system rotation to its calculation line connections. Okay, so the stream interference is going to change all levels of 12 DNA. Circle rotation to its center. All right, it's all in sequence. Now it's going to travel position. Scan line center and interference line position program setting. Okay, it's going to set the recourse line connection. All right, so it's going to scan the system. Open all track center and interference. Okay, so this is what happens now. All the pyramids set in high rotation is going to change dimensional setting. This is where we're going to change the tablets and the connections at all levels. We come into high level position location, heart reactor line interference. The hieroglyphic location is its calculation line conditions, which is all levels of its track system. This calculates and modifies in high line rotation of stream interference back in rotation system back into communication of Egypt. The dimensional line center sets its course line centers back in calculation interference for locations calculation. All right, so here we go. Sequence interference, teleport line stream. All right, zigzag zoom, out through equation, down through position. All right, so we'll stop there. All right, there's a lot to do, but we just reset the division line centers to all pyramids in the right location. All right, back in equation where it's supposed to be through division. So there's still a lot to do. We still got 4-day track centers to go through calculations. We have to reset prime numbers and positions back in hieroglyphic line center, back in communication, back in center line positions, back in heart reactor line interference locations, back in tablets, the high system locations, into all levels. Waking up streamline centers and positions. This is where we come into all levels of Nabu, connection line centers of Nile, connection line centers, all position calculation, each of the interference. Congratulations, guys. We're off to a good start. All right. Okay, take line stream interference line out position locations, all levels. Crew units 1 and 2, squad line position locations. We're going to all levels of vector 6, sector 1. Take them out of equation line and line positions. Put position location in GFL and rebellion out of sequence. Put them back in calculations where they are at division. All right, you guys are back in calculation line system. Any questions or comments, let me know. Information, right? Everybody have a fantastic day. Adios.